Hello and welcome to the ID Talk podcast. My name is Peter Counter and I am the editor-in-chief of FindBiometrics, where we are celebrating our 18th annual Year in Review event. A comprehensive analysis of the state of biometrics and digital identity, featuring interviews, industry survey data from over 900 respondents, featured articles, and of course, special episodes of the ID Talk podcast. That's why on this episode of ID Talk, I am pleased to welcome Jason Van Sice, Vice President of Aviation for NEC Corporation of America. One of the prevailing trends of 2020 was the acceleration of digital transformation, and NEC was at the forefront of that movement with its iDelight platform, which, in addition to facilitating frictionless converged security, has health and safety applications. Van Sice and I talked about iDelight in our conversation, as well as how NEC is building a vision of post-COVID travel through its partnership with Star Alliance and through its work with the tourism-dependent state of Hawaii through the H. initiative. I had a great time speaking with an aviation expert about our dramatic year, so without further ado, I am pleased to present my interview with Jason Van Sice, Vice President of Aviation for NEC Corporation of America, right here on ID Talk. I'm joined today by Jason Van Sice, Vice President of Aviation for NEC Corporation of America. Jason, thank you for joining me today on ID Talk.
Thank you, Peter. Happy to be here today.
So I want to start by looking back on two major themes of 2020 in biometrics: the pandemic and digital transformation. How did the COVID-19 pandemic affect NEC, and how has your company adapted to the new market landscape?
Yeah, good question, Peter. The COVID-19 pandemic has caused us to really adapt the way we think, and thanks in large part to the resourcefulness of our people and the solid design and flexibility of our technology. As a result, we remain responsive to our customers' and partners' needs in this ever-changing time, like usual. We've been really fortunate that NEC's had touchless technology long before the pandemic and the crisis. The pandemic merely refocused our perspective, on the importance of the touchless and the hygiene aspects as major benefits of our solutions. What we really discovered immediately was that the NEC iDelight, our secure, highly scalable digital identity management platform, is ideally equipped to bring touchless experiences to contactless situations for opt-in customer engagement. The platform really provides a unified experience for a variety of services and situations by using a unique ID, which is based on biometric authentication and AI technology.
Yeah, and there's quite a bit of overlap there in the other trend I want to talk about, which is, if there is one prevailing industry trend in 2020 that spans all vertical markets, it was digital transformation. And that's really underlined by NEC's launch of the iDelight platform you were just describing. Digital transformation was already underway before 2020, but the pandemic accelerated the trend by forcing organizations to rely on their digital channels. So I'm wondering, what are some examples of the most successful digital transformation strategies that you saw implemented this year?
Yeah, thanks, Peter. Good question. NEC is working side by side with airlines and airports to bring digital transformation and biometric solutions to facilitate the new touchless and hygienic customer experience we were just discussing. A well-known example of our touchless technology at work in aviation is the implementation of the first curb-to-gate biometric terminal in the U.S. with Delta Airlines. In partnership with U.S. Customs and Border Protection, the Transportation Security Administration, Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. There, our curb-to-gate solution enables rapid identification and real-time screening of passengers. Travelers are flying to an international destination, and they can choose to use face recognition technology to check in at the self-service kiosks when they drop their bags at the check-in counters, and they can actually go through the TSA checkpoint and board a flight without requiring a physical ID card or a boarding pass. We continue to also work with the Star Alliance in Europe and elsewhere around the globe. On November 17th, 2020, Star Alliance debuted its biometric identification platform, the Star Alliance Biometrics Hub, which is powered by the NEC iDelight. The Star Alliance Biometrics platform advances the vision of delivering a seamless and touchless customer journey while strengthening loyalty within Star Alliance travel ecosystem, significantly improving the traveler's experience. Lufthansa Group, and Swiss International Airlines. They'll be the first member airlines to use the system. They actually began in the beginning of November in Frankfurt and Munich airports. So far, it's going very, very well. Another example is the Hawaii Department of Transportation, or HDOT, as we like to call it. An NEC team came together in Hawaii to deliver a major digital transformation initiative. There, we're helping the state keep its airports safe and efficient using biometrics and thermal sensing and elevated body temperature technology. Not only do our solutions make the process more efficient, they're more hygienic and reduce the risk of contamination, and they help streamline and secure customer interactions. Today, NEC has helped deploy aviation solutions at more than 25 airports around the globe. In the aviation sector, NEC solutions have been proven in more than 700 systems across 70 countries. So we've been heavily involved in this digital transformation, Peter.
Yeah, I mean, it's very clear by what you're saying there too, and it couldn't be coming at a better time. The trend toward contactless and touchless biometrics, while that is really being accelerated right now by helping users stay socially distant and safe from contaminated surfaces, keeping people hygienic and safe is a big priority right now. Mm-hmm. But I'm wondering, what are the other factors bolstering the popularity of contactless biometric experiences?
Yeah, hygienic conditions join safety and convenience as top priorities for consumers, right? As we emerge from the pandemic, renewing the customer experience in touchless technology will be key to restoring confidence. They kind of go hand in hand. Utilizing NEC's award-winning biometrics and the ID Lite platform, customers can enjoy streamlined and secure transaction in countless environments, including travel, retail, hospitality, sporting events, financial services, office environments, healthcare, and education. I'll actually go into that in a little more detail here for you, Peter. For example, in retail and hospitality, FacePay can eliminate the need for an ID or a credit card. Once someone checks in, guests can simply look into a camera and head to their room, then scan their face to unlock their room without using a physical key. It's a real convenience. NEC ID Lite allows hotel staff to recognize customers so they can understand guest preferences and better meet their personal needs. During their stay, guests can use their face to access sightseeing information and restaurant recommendations within the hotel. Checkout is just as simple using the ID Lite application. Once verified, a guest can walk out of the hotel and they're on their way. Hotels providing a personalized digital ID service can increase customer loyalty and differentiate themselves from their competition. So they really like it.
So on the NEC Corporation of America website, there is a really interesting video about some of your smart building technology. And I'm wondering how that fits into this whole ID Lite conversation.
Yeah, good question, Peter. We've been getting a lot of interest in those areas as well. The NEC ID Lite helps employees return to work and enables them to work smarter and safer. The platform really drives seamless integration between various touch points inside the workplace, such as access management, elevated body temperature screening, identity verification for endpoint devices, crowd management in meeting spaces, and contactless common areas.
At FindBiometrics, one of the big industries that we've been constantly looking at in terms of where biometrics fit in is healthcare. And obviously that's on top of mind of everybody in 2020. I'm wondering how this conversation we're having kind of extends into that vertical.
NEC ID Lite works with popular applications in the medical industry to enhance the quality of patient care, really at the end of the day. By making touch points touchless, NEC ID Lite contributes to a hygienic environment to reduce the risk of spreading diseases. Really, in fact, the work we've done with the Hawaii Department of Transportation has opened the door to a lot of interesting conversations and discussions in the healthcare arena. These contactless technologies such as face or iris recognition allow quick and reliable access to device screens and doorways. Every second really counts in an emergency, and NEC biometrics are the fastest and most accurate in the world.
And obviously in the healthcare space, even in a normal year, everybody's extremely time poor. So with the way things are right now, the value proposition sort of speaks for itself. Touchless access is now more important than ever. NEC's revolutionary approach to digital transformation combines personal identification and digital ID to interconnect people and processes. NEC's new customer experience platform, NEC iDelight, makes shared experiences safer, everyday interactions touchless, and common transactions hassle-free. Their award-winning opt-in biometrics platform features elevated body temperature detection, access management, face payment, and more to help create more hygienic and touchless interactions. To learn more about NEC's touchless solutions and digital identity management platform, visit www.necam.com/touchless and be sure to download the complimentary vision paper, A Solid Platform for a Touchless World. And now, back to the podcast.
You mentioned your Star Alliance partnership. The launch of your project with Star Alliance was one of the bigger pieces of news that we covered at FindBiometrics in the fall here. And I'm just wondering if you could expand a little bit about how that program works with NEC technology.
Yeah, absolutely, Peter. Thanks for the question. We're really excited about Star Alliance. We approached Star Alliance quite some time ago with a vision and a concept for how we might be able to really innovate and disrupt and add a lot of value to their customer experience by bringing some commonality across all 26 airlines, which span pretty much the world over, and by bringing an opt-in enrollment via a mobile phone app. Star Alliance customers are able to again opt in. They will check their passport, make sure that it's valid. Our technology will also validate the biometrics and ensure through things like liveness detection that it is in fact the person who's in front of the camera and it's a real person, ensuring fidelity of that identity. So once they're enrolled, they're then able to use that technology worldwide as they're traveling and really to streamline their experience. And most importantly, I think from a Star Alliance perspective, bring a common expectation for what the travel is going to be like. So NEC technology is not only used during that enrollment process, but also the managing and the brokering of the biometrics as well. And then we're also including and working with a number of partners at the various local level in the airports to again bring that customer experience to where it needs to be, facilitating that travel experience. The other really interesting thing about the Star Alliance opportunity is they're looking at it as a full traveler experience, meaning from the time a person enrolls, or I should say goes to buy his or her ticket, until the time they return back to their home, all of the points in between, to include the airport, rideshare, the retail maybe in the airport, if they're staying in a hotel, they're able to use this same identity through a self-sovereign means, which means they're able to dictate with whom they want to share that information and at what point in time, so that they can enjoy that same seamless experience, which, at the point of checking into a hotel or again, a ride share, bringing not only streamlined operations for each of those stakeholders, but also again, bringing a tremendous improvement to the customer experience aspects, so that we can then feel like we have some control and feel like we also have a lot more predictability during our travel experience.
Mm-hmm. It's really nice to hear about such ambitious and powerful technology being deployed in that way. For years and years, we've always been talking about the balance between security and convenience, and really seeing such a streamlined customer experience. It almost seems like it's customer experience first, except that there's this strong identity that is enabling everything. It's really powerful and empowering for these users in what, as we all know, over the past 20 years, air travel has never been something where customer experience seemed to come first. But what you're describing sounds, I don't think it's much of a hyperbole to say like heavenly. Anyway, when we're talking about this sector, when I think about NEC in 2020, I do think quite a bit about your work with Hawaii, and I'm wondering if you can expand a little bit on the topic of HDOT, which you were speaking about a bit before.
Yeah, I would love to speak more about it, Peter. I mean, quite frankly, this is a project that's really near and dear to the NEC Corporation's heart, if you will. I don't know if that makes sense to say it that way, but, really we're supporting a very, very important business driver here for the state of Hawaii, which is, as you might imagine, without tourism, they are in deep, deep trouble from an economic standpoint and livelihood standpoint. For the population of Hawaii. Those tourists arrive via planes to their airports. So without travel, and specifically aviation travel, the state has been in a very, very precarious situation. So, they approached us and, had a pretty significant business challenge, which was, hey, can you help us solve this problem, which is bringing customer confidence to the air travel experience coming from international as well as U.S. domestic locations, so that people feel like when they board a flight and they're going to land in Hawaii, that they're in a safe environment. And the other side of that is, from a Hawaiian standpoint, we want to make sure all these travelers coming to our state are in fact healthy and are not bringing additional disease to the environment, even unknowingly in many cases. So that's a pretty hefty challenge when you're talking, on a normal day, Hawaii has about 30,000 people arriving in their airports, on a daily basis. So what we've done is we've rolled out elevated body temperature technology to all of the gates at all 5 of the major airports in Hawaii. And we've coupled that with some image identification or recognition capabilities, which essentially what we're doing is taking a look as people deplane using, the best of breed technology with a partner of ours called ICI Technology, who is FDA approved, which is, was a key part for this solution offering to us, is that in fact we have the best on the marketplace to ensure the highest quality results. So essentially we're measuring people's temperatures from a distance using thermal detection. So if a person is above 100.4 temperature, then we will use the image capabilities or face capture capabilities to also capture an image of that person deplaning. It is still completely separate from their personally identifiable information. So it is essentially an anonymous image. So we're being very cognizant of personal privacy, et cetera, as we're using these technologies. But the purpose for capturing that image is so that the information on that person who happens to have an elevated body temperature can be shared with the proper personnel within the Hawaiian Department of Transportation, and they can locate that person. Because again, more often than not, people are just unaware that they're not feeling or may have an elevated body temperature. I don't think most people knowingly board a plane knowing they're sick. So these technologies have worked very, very well. We've had a team there for quite some time now, throughout the summer, have been working hand in hand with the state in many, many different departments, and they're seeing outstanding results with the technologies that I just mentioned. The other really interesting thing that we're doing is we're supporting the development of a what they call the Aloha Pass, which is an app-based technology platform that allows folks to, again, opt in, upload on a proactive basis a COVID pandemic test result. We're putting interfaces in place with the various labs so that we can ensure that it was issued by an authoritative lab and is in fact valid and real and not created in some way. But that can be uploaded, and the customer can also use and upload the other various documents that the state requires in a digital format. So, back to that digital transformation theme here for 2020, we're seeing it in action there. And, the other thing that Hawaii really had to do as part of that business challenge was to eliminate or drastically reduce the quarantine requirement of 2 weeks that they had in place. Because as you might imagine, for that same tourist culture, nobody's going to take a vacation where they're going to have to spend 2 weeks of it in a hotel before they can actually go to the beaches of Hawaii. So the state is well on their way to reopening things in the manner that they need to. We've been continuously playing a key role in helping them to do that. So as I mentioned when I started talking about Hawaii Department of Transportation, this one's near and dear to our heart, and we really feel like we're doing some good work there that the state really has to make happen as soon as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, I live in Halifax, Nova Scotia, where there is an immense need and dependence on the tourism economy, and so I feel like there are a lot of parallels there. And I also think that you've done a pretty good job of tempting me out to Hawaii when this is all done. I can't wait to have a safe vacation out there.
Thanks, Peter. Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, as I mentioned, this is an important one to us. We've even had the governor come speak at some of our events, at NEC Visionary Week as an example. It's just been a great relationship and providing a really important solution offering to the marketplace, which, hey, we'd love to come up to Nova Scotia as well.
NEC NeoFace Thermal Express provides rapid, touchless physical access and hygienic thermal screening in demanding, high-throughput environments. Built with industry-leading thermal sensors and top-ranked NEC software, it detects elevated body temperature quickly with exceptional accuracy. Its robust capture process and sleek design delivers hygienic touchless screening in a variety of settings, such as airports, airlines, casinos, entertainment venues, hospitals, restaurants, stadiums, and other customer-facing venues. To learn more about NeoFace Thermal Express, EBT detection, and other touchless solutions, visit www.necam.com/touchless. And now, back to the podcast.
And what were the key highlights for NEC's biometrics business in 2020, and what can we look forward to seeing from your company in the coming year?
Always happy to talk about our accomplishments, Peter. Thank you. Yeah, from an aviation perspective, the top that come to mind would be the launch of the Star Alliance Biometrics, which is powered by NEC Light, as I mentioned earlier. Also, our partnership with Hawaii Department of Transportation to bring thermal detection to their airports and ultimately help bring tourism back to their state. NEC's vision for the future is of a mobile-centric, AI-driven airport. The mobile-centric solutions with intelligent AI robotic process assistants create open space for airports to be creative to enhance passenger experience and handle increasing traffic. For the majority of passenger interactions with airlines and airports are moved to mobile devices. Intelligent RPAs with interactive displays and identity action recognition remove the friction in those environments as well. The AI-driven data analytics helps airports operate in an efficient manner, which is really key for their business metrics as well.
And how can listeners get in touch with you to learn more about the topics that we discussed today?
Sure, thanks for that, Peter. To learn more about our platform and thermal solutions, you can visit us at www.necam.com/touchless. Or you can also visit us at www.necam.com/aviation.
Great. Well, Jason, thank you for taking the time to speak with me today on ID Talk. Look forward to having you back again.
Thank you, Peter. It was a pleasure.
And so concludes my interview with Jason Van Sice, Vice President of Aviation for NEC Corporation of America. To learn more about the topics discussed in today's episode, visit www.necam.com/touchless. And to read about the 2020 FindBiometrics Year in Review, including our expert analysis of the survey results, visit FindBiometrics.com. I'd like to thank Jason again for joining us on today's episode. Our podcast theme music is by Logomrad. I have been your host, Peter Counter. Thank you for listening to the ID Talk podcast.